Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Kubrat Pulev has taken the WBA regular title from Mahmoud Charr in a gritty affair in Sofia, Bulgaria. Pulev winning on all three judges' scorecards, 117-111 on two cards and 116-112. And myself, I had it 116-112. It actually was relatively competitive throughout. I thought the first 4 or 5 rounds, there really wasn't a lot separating both these guys, and I had it 2 apiece after 4. But I do think that Kubrat Pulev was doing the slightly better work and just doing a little bit more, having a bit more success in most of the remaining rounds. And if you did see this fight, you know, it's probably not going to go down as a classic. And I did feel that the last 4 or 5 rounds, it certainly felt like a bit of a grind. But early on, both these guys were testing each other. You know, it was, back and forth stuff. Sometimes there would be some good trading. For the most part, Kubrat Pulev trying to split the Mahmoud Charr guard, with the jab and also the right hand, and having a lot of success with the right hand, either trying to split the guard or come around it. And Mahmoud Charr, he was trying to get in close and get shots away, but that was thwarted by Kubrat Pulev tying up at every opportunity. Charr's best work came from his body punching, and it did look like he was investing pretty solidly in the first 6 rounds of the fight, but seemed to go away from it a little bit in the second half. But I think as he tired, didn't quite execute as he was in the first few rounds. But I do think that Kubrat Pulev a little bit lucky. The referee was pretty generous with Pulev in terms of the amount of holding that he was initiating. And Charr was getting warned a few times for different things, and I thought actually Pulev's getting the rub of the green here. But in terms of the actual action proper, no dispute with the scorecards. Kubrat Pulev, deserved winner in this one. And I think we can say, I was actually, shocked for one that Mahmoud Charr was as competitive as he was. But I guess we also have to factor in Kubrat Pulev is 43 years old. I thought Kubrat Pulev was going to put on a more dominant display against Charr because I don't really rate Charr and think he's that good. But I was pretty pleased that he was relieved of that regular title, which he has been parading around since 2017, not really defending. And sure, there have been some things that have gone on, like the whole Don King thing where the belt was put in Trevor Bryan's hands and went around for a bit. Charr was declared a champion in recess. He took some court action, ultimately got the belt back. But now he is free of the belt because Kubrat Pulev has relieved him of it. So I don't know what happens for Mahmoud Charr next because he really hasn't done anything in the heavyweight division in many years. In fact, this fight really felt like it should have been staged sometime between 2015 and 2017, not in 2024. The fact it was held now, make of it what you will. Charr's really been doing nothing for years and calling for big fights and not deserving them. So Kubrat Pulev has clearly got him paid for this one. Maybe not the sort of money that Charr wanted, but he was competitive in this fight. He never really backed down. He came through with the high guard, had it up and really trying to sort of bang away to Pulev's body. He had moments of success. He was through the mid-rounds trying to land the uppercut. A couple came close to really hurting Pulev, but never quite had it on the money. But, it's sort of the last few rounds sort of slipped away and wasn't able to put it on those 43-year-old legs late on. Charr, 3 or 4 rounds in this fight, I think that's fair. Kubrat Pulev is a winner, 116-112 or 117-111, completely fair. And I guess the big question now is, well, what happens next? For Mahmoud Charr, I'm not really fussed. He's kind of been decking the heavyweight division and fans around for years, calling himself a champion and not really doing anything to justify it or defend that title. So he can kind of jump in the lake for me because I think he's been holding up this belt and holding up the division. He's been a major problem within the WBA and what's been happening with the secondary title. For Kubrat Pulev, with Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk fighting soon, we'll have to see what happens if Usyk wins again and decides to continue fighting, maybe the WBA will order Pulev and Alexander Usyk, or potentially order Pulev versus Tyson Fury, or potentially, because it's the WBA and it's a whole, you enter their vortex, you kind of take what you get. There could be other potential. There is a gold champion. There is also Martin Bakole in the top of their ranks there. There could be an eliminator ordered for one of those to face Kubrat Pulev. Who knows what will happen, because it is the WBA after all. And potentially Usyk could win and retire and belt scatter, which could leave a vacant heavyweight title to be fought for. And I'm sure that Kubrat Pulev would want to be Johnny on the spot for that. So he's placed himself right near the front of the queue. So we'll have to see what happens. But if there is not going to be an opportunity for a belt, well, he'll have to stay busy, he'll have to stay somewhat active, because he doesn't want to sit for too long, especially as he's aging by the day here, 43 years old. He'll want to be out, I would have thought, in a meaningful fight sometime soon. But maybe they'll just be sort of looking out for the opportunities for the biggest names in the division, maybe a Saudi payday, or potentially some sort of unification. I mean, we'll have to see. It's kind of, with the WBA, you can never really sort of say something's a lock, because it can change in a heartbeat, and all of a sudden it's like snakes and ladders. You can kind of think you're in pole position. Like Michael Hunter has thought he's been in pole position with them, and it hasn't really sort of panned out. Guys have been in mandatory spots for long periods of time, never to get a title shot. So we will have to see, because you go down that vortex, you've opted to do that, that's on you. So Kubrat Pulev takes the belt from Charr. He was more competitive than I was expecting. The inactivity didn't really sort of seem to, take too much from him, but how much of that is the decline potentially in Kubrat Pulev? Yeah, Mahmoud Charr, he loses this one, loses the belt and any sliver of relevancy that he had in the heavyweight division. What do you make of it all? Kubrat Pulev, holder of the WBA regular title. Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.